All right, so are you ready to explore the world of Willowbrook? Today, we're taking a deep dive into Maya's magic.
Oh, this should be fun.
Yeah, you guys sent this story in, and it's from a series called Blooming Hearts and Mimes.
Yes.
And I have to say, I was really intrigued when I first heard about it.
It's a really neat series.
Yeah, a children's book that tackles self-acceptance and finding your strength
Right.
wrapped up in a magical adventure. I mean, that's a pretty cool concept.
It really is. And what's fascinating is how it uses this adventure to really dive into those themes. It's a great example of how powerful storytelling can be, not just for kids,
Right.
but for all of us.
I agree.
We learn best through stories.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's break down Maya's magic.
Okay.
This story throws us right into this village, Willowbrook,
Right.
where you've got warriors training and mages honing their skills.
Yes.
Our main character, Maya, is a young girl who dreams of being a warrior just like her dad.
Classic story setup.
Yeah, totally right.
It seems that way at first.
Yeah.
But there's a little twist.
Okay, I like twists.
Maya's magic is wild and unpredictable.
Uh-oh.
It makes her training a real struggle.
Oh, so she's not like the prodigy.
Not exactly. It
Uh.
sets her apart from the other kids, and not always in a good way.
Yeah, you can imagine how tough that would be for a young kid.
Oh, absolutely.
But other kids are mastering simple spells.
Right.
Her magic's like a wild animal.
Yes.
It even leads to some negativity from other villagers, especially this girl, Elena, who is the top warrior apprentice.
Yeah, she's not very nice.
Ouch. That's gotta hurt.
You can see how this resonates with real-life experiences, though, right?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, we've all felt that pressure to fit in,
Oh, yeah.
to be like everyone else, even when our natural talents kind of pull us in a different direction. And Maya's struggle to control her magic really reflects that feeling of not being good enough, of not quite belonging.
It makes you think how many times we've dismissed our own unique abilities.
Oh, so many times.
Because they didn't fit the mold.
Yeah, because they weren't what everyone else was doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then Maya meets Elara,
Yeah.
this wise woman who lives out in the Whispering Woods.
Out in the woods all alone.
Yeah, and things start to change.
Of course they do.
Elara becomes her mentor
Mm-hmm.
and teaches her a whole new way of looking at her magic.
This is a turning point in the story.
Yeah.
I think a really important one.
Wow, that's-
Instead of trying to force her magic into a box,
Right.
Elara encourages Maya to embrace its wildness.
Well, I like that.
She teaches her to listen, to connect with the energy all around her,
Okay.
whether it's the wind or the earth or even her own inner voice.
It's almost like a metaphor for self-acceptance, isn't it?
It really is.
Working with your strengths
Right.
rather than trying to fit into someone else's definition of what you should be.
Exactly.
Right.
Bloom where you're planted,
I love that.
you know. Recognize your potential, even if it looks different from everyone else's.
Yeah. And that lesson is reinforced throughout the story as Maya faces different challenges, from calming a scared deer to healing a bird's wing.
Ah.
Each task requires her to use her magic in this sensitive and intuitive way.
Yes, very different from how the other mages are using their magic.
So it's not about brute force.
No.
It's about understanding and working in harmony with the natural world.
Yes.
It seems like such a simple concept, but how often do we forget that?
Right. We get so caught up in trying to force things to go our way.
It really makes you think.
It does, and this all leads to the climax of the story.
Okay, here we go.
When bandits attack Willowbrook.
Oh, no.
This is where Maya's unique approach really shines.
Okay.
The warriors, including her own father, can't get past the bandits' blockade without risking lives.
Ooh, so the stakes are high.
Very high.
So what happens? Does Maya just blast them away with her wild magic?
No, not at all.
Okay.
That's what's so interesting about this.
What does she do?
Instead of trying to overpower the mountain, she connects with its energy and gently guides the rocks to create a new path,
Oh, wow.
outsmarting the bandits completely.
That's pretty clever.
It is.
So she wins not by force, but by understanding.
Exactly.
What a great lesson for young readers.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, for all of us.
For all of us.
Thinking outside the box.
Yes.
Finding a different way to solve a problem.
It's a valuable skill.
Those are valuable skills no matter what you're facing.
Absolutely. And her success doesn't just save the village, it changes how others see her.
Oh, really?
Especially Elena, who initially doubted her.
Oh, what happens with Elena? Does she finally come around?
She does. Elena's transformation is actually quite remarkable.
Okay.
She goes from being really skeptical of Maya's magic to actually recognizing its potential.
Wow.
Even suggesting they could work together as a warrior-mage partnership.
I love that.
Doesn't it highlight the power of being open-minded?
It really does.
Recognizing the value in someone else's strengths, even if they're different from your own.
It shows you how powerful it can be to embrace diversity.
Yes.
To recognize that different skills and perspectives can work together to create something amazing.
Absolutely.
And it seems like that's a key theme that runs throughout this whole Blooming Hearts and Minds series.
You're exactly right, and that's what we're going to dig into next.
Okay. I'm excited.
This series goes beyond just telling a good story.
Yeah.
It aims to empower children by encouraging them to embrace their individuality, explore their unique talents, and then use them to make a positive impact.
And that's what makes this deep dive so interesting.
Yeah.
It's not just about escaping into a fantasy world.
Right.
It's about learning and growing from it.
Exactly.
I'm excited to see how they achieve that.
Well, let's jump into that.
Okay.
We've talked about Maya's story.
Right.
But what makes Blooming Hearts and Minds so special?
So one of the things that jumped out at me was how this series goes beyond just telling a captivating story. It incorporates all of these interactive elements.
Yes.
Which sounds like a really cool way to make reading a more engaging experience for kids.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about that?
Absolutely. And that's one of the most innovative aspects of this series. It's not just about passively absorbing the story.
Right.
It's about encouraging active participation. They have these sections called Write Your Chapter.
Okay.
Where they present a scenario within the story. And they leave it open for the reader to imagine.
Oh, wow.
And write their own continuation.
So they're not just readers, they're becoming co-authors.
Yes.
Shaping the narrative with their own ideas.
Yes. And it goes beyond just the plot.
Okay.
There are prompts that encourage them to create new characters, design magical creatures, even develop their own cultures and traditions within the world of the story.
That sounds incredible.
It is.
What a fantastic way to stimulate imagination and get kids excited about writing.
Absolutely.
But I'm guessing it goes beyond just writing right.
You're right.
I bet they incorporate other creative outlets as well.
Yes, they do visual creative prompts as well.
Oh, like what?
So they might be challenged to draw their interpretation of a scene,
Right.
Or design a costume for a character,
Oh, fine.
or even create a map of a specific location.
It's like they've thought of everything.
They really have.
This approach seems tailor-made to different learning styles and creative interests, which is something we all appreciate, right? I mean, who doesn't love a bit of variety in their learning journey?
Exactly. Variety is the spice of life.
And the best part is that all of these activities are designed to build confidence.
Yes.
And encourage self-expression. The goal is to empower children to see themselves as capable creators.
Right.
Not just passive consumers of entertainment.
Exactly.
That's what I love about this series.
Yeah.
It's not just entertainment. It's about fostering a sense of ownership over the stories they engage with. And that sense of ownership, I imagine, can be pretty empowering.
It really can be.
And let's not forget the focus on personal development.
So, yes.
Which seems to be woven into every aspect of this series.
It is.
Absolutely. The series intentionally integrates elements that promote self-confidence.
Emotional resilience and the development of social skills.
It's incredible how they've managed to pack so much into these books.
It really is.
Could you give some specific examples of how they accomplish this?
Sure. The stories themselves often feature characters overcoming challenges, both internal and external.
Okay.
This allows readers to kind of vicariously experience resilience and problem solving.
Oh, that's interesting.
Learning valuable lessons through the characters' journeys.
It's like a safe space to explore difficult emotions.
Yes.
And learn coping mechanisms through the lens of fantasy.
Exactly. Okay. And the interactive elements play a key role as well.
Like how?
So some prompts, for example, encourage readers to reflect on their own strengths and weaknesses, to consider how they might handle challenging situations or explore different perspectives in a conflict.
It's all about encouraging self-reflection.
Yes.
And helping kids develop their emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
It's so clever how they've integrated those concepts into the story.
It really is.
And it's not just about individual growth, right?
Yeah.
The community engagement aspects play a part in this, too.
Absolutely. Through book club discussions and peer interactions, children can share their experiences, offer support to one another, and learn from each other's perspectives.
It creates a sense of belonging.
Yes.
And fosters empathy, which are so crucial for social and emotional development.
They are.
They've created a system where the books are just the beginning.
Right.
It's about building a community.
Yes.
Sparking conversations, and encouraging young minds to flourish.
Exactly.
What stands out to you the most about this series?
For me, it's the thoughtfulness and the intention behind every aspect of the series. It's not just about entertainment.
Right.
It's about creating a holistic experience for children.
Okay.
One that nurtures their creativity, their emotional intelligence, and their sense of self.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
Did it?
To see how much care and effort has gone into crafting these books.
Yes.
Not just as stories, but as tools for learning growth and empowerment.
Absolutely. And it highlights the power of stories to shape young minds.
Yeah.
And inspire positive change in the world.
It feels like we've only just scratched the surface of what this series has to offer.
We have.
I'm so curious to hear more about the other books and the kinds of adventures that await readers in this world.
Yes.
But before we dive into that,
okay,
what's one thing you hope listeners will take away from this discussion so far?
I think the key takeaway is that learning can be a joyful and empowering experience, especially when it's interwoven with captivating narratives, creative exploration, and meaningful connections with others. Blooming Hearts and Minds truly exemplifies this. It's amazing to see how stories can ignite imaginations, foster empathy, and encourage personal growth.
And I think it's a great reminder that we never stop learning and growing no matter our age.
That's right.
There's always something new to discover, a new perspective to consider, a new adventure to embark on.
Beautifully said.
Okay.
So, let's continue our exploration of Blooming Hearts and Minds.
Okay.
We've only just begun to uncover the treasures that await us.
Let's do it. I can't wait to delve deeper into this world and see what other gems we can find.
Oh, there are so many.
I bet there are.
We've got lots to discuss.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Me too. Let's do it. It's amazing how they've managed to create a world that feels both magical and grounded in reality.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that makes this series so compelling, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's like they found that sweet spot between escapism and relatability.
Right.
You get lost in the adventure, but at the same time, you're connecting with the characters on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Because they're dealing with emotions and challenges that we all experience.
Exactly. It's a reminder that even in a world of magic and mythical creatures, the human experience is still at the heart of the story.
Right.
And that brings us to another interesting aspect of this series.
Okay.
The educational component.
Okay.
We touched on it briefly, but I think it deserves a deeper dive.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you see the educational elements woven into the narrative?
Well, one thing that struck me was how seamlessly they've integrated learning into the adventure. It's not like those textbook-style stories where the lesson is just hammered in with all the subtlety of a troll swinging a club.
Yeah.
Instead, the educational aspects are subtly woven into the fabric of the story.
Yes.
Making learning feel like a natural part of the experience.
You're absolutely right. They've managed to make learning feel like an adventure in itself.
I like that.
It's not about memorizing facts and figures.
Right.
It's about exploring concepts, developing critical thinking skills, and nurturing emotional intelligence.
It's like they've cracked the code to making learning fun.
I think they have.
And they do this in several clever ways. We talked about the Write Your Chapter sections.
Yes.
But they also incorporate problem-solving scenarios.
Yes.
That challenge readers to think outside the box.
Those problem-solving scenarios are brilliant.
Yeah. Tell me more about those.
They present a situation within the story.
Okay.
Maybe a character needs to overcome an obstacle or find a solution to a tricky problem.
Okay.
It could be anything from navigating a maze to deciphering a secret message.
It's like those escape room challenges that are all the rage now.
Exactly.
Except instead of being locked in a physical room, you're using your mind to escape a fictional dilemma.
Exactly. And these challenges aren't just about finding the right answer.
Yeah.
They're designed to encourage kids to think critically, to explore different possibilities, and to develop their own unique solutions.
It's teaching them to be resourceful and to think for themselves.
Yes.
Which are essential skills for navigating life, both in the real world and in fictional adventures.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond problem solving.
Okay.
The series also incorporates activities that promote emotional intelligence.
I'm really curious about those. Can you give us some examples?
Sure. For example, some prompts might ask readers to identify how a character is feeling in a particular scene.
Okay.
Or to predict how they might react to certain events.
It's like they're learning to read between the lines.
Yes.
not just of the story, but of human emotions. That's a pretty valuable skill.
Absolutely. And there might be exercises where they have to imagine themselves in the character's shoes and consider how they would handle a challenging situation.
It's like a form of empathy training.
Yes.
They're learning to see the world from different perspectives and to understand how their actions might affect others.
Exactly. It's amazing how much thought and care they've put into developing these books.
Yeah.
Not just as entertainment, but as tools for personal growth.
It's truly impressive. And all of this is presented within the context of these captivating magical adventures.
Right.
It's like they found a way to sneak in a healthy dose of education without sacrificing the fun and excitement.
Exactly. Learning should be fun.
It makes you wonder why all learning can't be this engaging.
Right. I mean, who wouldn't want to learn about problem solving and emotional intelligence while exploring a world of magic, mythical creatures, and daring adventure?
And speaking of community, it seems like that plays a significant role in this series as well.
Yes, it does.
We touched on the book club discussion guides and group activity suggestions, but I'm curious to hear more about how they encourage interaction and collaboration among young readers.
Well, imagine a group of children gathered together, buzzing with excitement after finishing the latest Blooming Hearts and Minds book.
Okay.
They're eager to share their favorite moments, their thoughts on the characters, the twists and turns that kept them on the edge of their seats.
Yeah.
It's like stepping into a world where stories come alive through shared experiences and lively discussions.
It sounds like a recipe for creating a real sense of community among young readers.
Exactly. And the discussion guides provided by the series are like treasure maps, leading these young explorers through thought-provoking conversations.
I love that analogy.
They might ask open-ended questions like, what was your favorite part of the story and why?
Okay.
Or what do you think will happen next? Or even, if you could ask the main character one question, what would it be?
It's not just about rehashing the plot. It's about digging deeper.
Yes.
Encouraging them to analyze the character's motivations, the themes explored in the story, and how it all connects to their own lives.
You're spot on. These guided discussions go beyond simply understanding the story.
Yeah.
They're about fostering critical thinking, encouraging them to express their own interpretations, and stimulating their imaginations to run wild.
It creates a space where their voices can be heard, where they can share their unique perspectives and learn from each other in a fun and supportive environment.
Absolutely. And it's not just about talking, it's about doing.
Right.
This series also provides a wealth of activity suggestions that encourage interaction and collaboration.
Like what?
Imagine a group of kids working together to create a skit based on their favorite scene.
Okay.
Complete with costumes, props, and maybe even a few improvised lines.
It's like they're bringing the story to life.
Yes.
Not just reading about it, but becoming a part of it.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there.
Oh, there's more.
They might be challenged to create a board game based on the world of the story.
Wow.
Complete with rules, challenges, and even a beautifully crafted game board.
Okay.
Or they might be inspired to write and perform their own original song.
Cool.
Capturing the essence of the story through music and lyrics.
It's incredible how they've managed to turn reading into a truly interactive and collaborative experience.
It is.
It's not just about consuming a story, it's about actively engaging with it, creating something new and meaningful together.
And that's what makes this series so special.
Yeah.
It recognizes that learning and growth thrive in a community where ideas are shared, perspectives are broadened, and imaginations are ignited through collaboration.
It's a beautiful testament to the power of shared storytelling.
It is.
And the magic that unfolds when young minds come together.
It's inspiring to see how they've managed to create a world that extends far beyond the pages of a book. A world where imagination knows no bounds and the joy of learning is celebrated through shared adventures.
What stands out to you the most about this series' approach to building community?
For me, it's the way they seamlessly weave together individual exploration with shared experiences.
Okay.
It's not about dictating a specific interpretation of the story.
Right.
It's about providing a springboard for individual thought.
Okay.
And then creating a space where those thoughts can blossom into a vibrant tapestry of shared understanding and creative expression.
It's like they're planting seeds of imagination and then nurturing them through collaboration and encouragement.
Yes.
Allowing each young mind to flourish in its own unique way while contributing to a larger garden of shared creativity. It's a beautiful analogy, isn't it?
It is, and it perfectly captures the essence of what makes Blooming Hearts and Minds so remarkable.
Yeah.
It's not just a series of books. It's a vibrant ecosystem where imagination takes root, stories come alive, and young minds are empowered to create, connect, and thrive.
And speaking of thriving, this series seems to put a lot of emphasis on personal development, would you say?
You're absolutely right. It's woven into the very fabric of the narratives, the activities, and the community-building aspects. It's about more than just entertainment.
Right.
It's about empowering children to develop into confident, compassionate, and resilient individuals.
That's what I find so fascinating about this series.
Yeah.
It's not just telling a story. It's actively encouraging personal growth. How do they accomplish that?
Well, they use a variety of techniques. But one of the most effective is through character development.
Okay.
The characters in these stories aren't perfect.
Right, they're flawed.
They face challenges, they make mistakes.
Yeah.
They experience a whole range of emotions, both positive and negative.
It's like they're reflecting the real world back to the readers.
Yes.
Showing them that it's okay to be imperfect, to struggle, to experience setbacks.
Exactly. And through these characters' journeys, young readers are exposed to different coping mechanisms, problem-solving strategies, and ways of navigating complex emotions.
So they're not just telling them what to do.
Right.
They're showing them.
Yes. They see how characters overcome adversity, learn from their mistakes, and grow as individuals.
It's like they're providing a roadmap for navigating life's challenges, showing kids that they're not alone in what they're going through.
Yeah.
And that there are healthy ways to cope with difficult situations.
Precisely. And it's not just about showing them what to do.
Right.
It's about encouraging them to reflect on their own experiences and to develop their own unique coping mechanisms.
Can you give us some examples of how they encourage this self-reflection?
Of course, throughout the books, you'll find prompts that ask readers to consider how they might handle a situation, similar to what a character is facing.
Yeah.
For example, if a character is struggling with the fear of public speaking, the prompt might ask, have you ever felt nervous about speaking in front of others?
Right.
What strategies have you used to overcome those feelings?
It's like they're creating a dialogue between the story and the reader.
Yes.
Inviting them to draw connections between the fictional world and their own lives.
Exactly. And these prompts aren't just about problem solving.
Right.
They're about encouraging self-awareness and emotional intelligence. There might be prompts that ask readers to identify their own strengths and weaknesses, to explore their values, or to consider how their actions impact others.
It's about helping them develop a deeper understanding of themselves and their place in the world.
Absolutely. And all of this is done in a way that's engaging, age-appropriate, and never feels preachy or overwhelming.
Right.
It's woven seamlessly into the fabric of the story, making personal development feel like a natural part of the adventure.
It's fascinating to see how they've managed to create a series that's not just entertaining, but also incredibly empowering.
It is.
What do you think is the most impactful aspect of their approach to personal development?
For me, it's the emphasis on self-discovery.
Okay.
They don't provide a one-size-fits-all solution to life's challenges.
Right.
Instead, they encourage readers to explore their own unique strengths, values, and coping mechanisms.
It's about empowering them to become the authors of their own stories, isn't it?
Exactly. It's about giving them the tools and the confidence to navigate life's challenges with resilience, compassion, and a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
And that's a truly powerful gift to give to any young reader.
We've talked about the captivating stories, the educational elements,
Yes.
the focus on community and personal development. It's clear that Blooming Hearts and Minds is more than just a series of books.
Right.
It's a movement, a philosophy, a way of looking at the world through a lens of wonder, possibility, and growth.
I like that.
What's one thought you'd like to leave our listeners with as we wrap up this deep dive?
I think the most important takeaway is that learning and growth should be a joyful and empowering experience.
Yeah.
The Blooming Hearts and Minds series reminds us that stories have the power to ignite our imaginations, foster empathy, and inspire us to become the best versions of ourselves.
And that's a message that resonates with me deeply.
Good.
Whether we're young readers embarking on our first adventures or seasoned adults navigating the complexities of life,
Yes.
there's always something new to learn, a new perspective, to embrace a new story waiting to be written.
Beautifully said. And with that thought in mind,
Yeah.
let's continue our exploration of the Blooming Hearts and Minds series.
Okay.
We've only just begun to scratch the surface of this vibrant world.
I'm excited to dive back in. Let's see what other treasures await us.
Oh, there are plenty more.
Wow. We've really uncovered some fascinating aspects of this series.
We have.
It's not just about escaping into a magical world.
No, it's not.
It's about using that world as a springboard for growth and creativity.
Right.
And even tackling real-life challenges.
Yes.
It's amazing how they've managed to blend those elements so seamlessly.
It really is a testament to the creator's understanding of the power of storytelling. They recognize that stories aren't just for entertainment. They can be powerful tools for learning, empathy, and personal development.
And speaking of learning, we haven't even touched upon the specific educational aspects woven into this series.
That's right.
You mentioned earlier that it goes beyond just reading and writing.
Yes, it does.
What other areas do they explore?
Well, one area they delve into is history and culture.
Oh, okay.
Imagine a story set in a world inspired by ancient Egypt, where the characters are uncovering secrets of the pharaohs or learning about hieroglyphics.
That sounds amazing.
It's like a history lesson disguised as a thrilling adventure.
Yeah, it is.
It's not about dry facts and dates.
Right.
It's about experiencing history through the eyes of the characters, feeling the weight of ancient mysteries, and getting caught up in the intrigue of a bygone era.
And what about science and nature?
Oh, definitely.
Do they incorporate those elements as well?
Absolutely. There's a book that explores the ecosystem of a magical rainforest, where the characters learn about different plant and animal species, the delicate balance of the ecosystem, and the importance of conservation.
It's like they're bringing the natural world to life.
Exactly.
Sparking curiosity and a sense of wonder about the environment.
Yes, and it's not just about reading about science.
Right.
It's about experiencing it through the lens of the story.
Okay.
Feeling a sense of awe at the intricacies of nature and understanding the interconnectedness of all living things.
It seems like they've thought of everything.
They really have.
They're covering history, culture science, nature.
Yes.
It's incredible how they've managed to weave so much learning into these adventures.
It's a testament to their commitment to creating a holistic learning experience.
Yeah.
They recognize that learning shouldn't be confined to textbooks and classrooms.
Right.
It should be an integral part of every aspect of a child's life, including their leisure time and their imaginative explorations.
And speaking of imaginative explorations, we can't forget the interactive element that sets this series apart.
Oh, that's so important.
It's not just about reading passively.
No.
It's about actively engaging with the story.
Right.
Becoming a co-creator, shaping the narrative, and even contributing to the world building.
You're absolutely right. It's about empowering young readers to see themselves as more than just consumers of stories, but as active participants, as creators, as storytellers in their own right.
Can you give us some examples of how they achieve this?
Sure. One of the most innovative features is the design your own sections.
Okay.
Where they might challenge readers to create a new magical creature.
Oh, fun.
Invent a unique spell, or even design the layout of a magical city.
It's like they're handing over the reins of creativity.
Yes.
Encouraging kids to flex their imaginations and contribute to the world of the story.
Exactly. It's about fostering a sense of ownership over the story.
Right.
Making them feel like they're a part of something bigger. Something they can contribute to and be proud of.
It's incredible how they've managed to create a world that's both immersive and interactive.
It is.
A world where imagination has no limits and every reader has the power to shape the narrative.
It's a testament to the creator's belief in the power of children's creativity and their understanding that learning is most effective when it's driven by curiosity, engagement, and a sense of ownership.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It is.
To see how they've created a series that goes beyond entertainment, a series that sparks imaginations, encourages critical thinking, fosters empathy, and empowers young readers to become active participants in their own learning journey.
Absolutely. It's a shining example of how storytelling can be a powerful force for good, not just for children, but for all of us.
As we wrap up this deep dive, what's one final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think the most important takeaway is that learning should be an adventure.
Yeah.
A journey filled with wonder, excitement, and the joy of discovery. The Blooming Hearts and Minds series reminds us that stories have the power to ignite our passions, expand our horizons, and inspire us to embrace the magic of learning.
Beautifully said, and I think it's a message that resonates with all of us, regardless of age.
I agree.
Whether we're exploring a fictional world or navigating the complexities of our own lives, let's remember to approach each day with a sense of curiosity, a thirst for knowledge, and a willingness to embrace the transformative power of storytelling.
I couldn't agree more.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of blooming hearts and minds.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure exploring this series with you.
The pleasure was all mine.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those imaginations blooming.